So the woman of your dreams left you and now you're a little bit sad. You're, maybe let's call it borderline depressed. How are you not supposed to feel depressed? You know, you've been together for how many years? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You've put your entire identity in her. Your whole personality is based out of her. You've lost all your friends because of her. You stopped becoming ambitious because of her. You stopped taking care of yourself. You stopped hitting the gym, all because you got comfortable. Of course you're going to feel depressed. Of course you're going to hate your life, you know, because your entire life was put into her. Your entire identity was this one woman, and now she left you, and you're left with nothing. The problem that most men make that I see is when they get into relationships, like I said, they get rid of their entire identity and place it into her. They stop hanging out with all their friends. They stop talking to their OG friends. They stop, you know, taking care of themselves, going to the gym, getting strong, because they're like, okay, why do I need to go to the gym anymore? I have a woman who loves me for who I am. She's not going to leave me. I don't need to be fit anymore. I can just eat all the food I want and get fat. But do you see where that got you? Now you're single, now you're fat, and do you really think women are going to be attracted to that? Maybe lower quality women, maybe not as attractive women, or maybe you have a great personality. But still, deep down, you're going to feel that insecureness because you know you're not at the potential that you can be at. So, how do you not feel depressed after getting left by a woman, after a breakup? How do you still come out with it, you know, even after your mourning stage or whatever it's called, after you grieve for a bit? Because, you know, relationships they're important. They will bring meaning to life. They will give value to love. But you can't spend the rest of your days moping around and praying that she's going to come back. No. So that's the first thing that I would get clear in your mind, is understand that in reality, just put it down to the fundamental fact, and it's going to make your life so much easier, that she's not coming back. Maybe she might, but you can't think of maybes. It's either a yes or a no. You can't be a maybe type of guy, or else you're not going to get to where you want. You can't be waiting and hoping and putting your life on pause just to wait for her to come back. You've got to still punch life in the face and keep going forward, moving forward through everything. That way you don't stay stuck in this maybe ideology. Right? So forget about her. Obviously grieve, mourn, enjoy the memories and the feelings, the thoughts that come up during your mourning stage. But then, 1 to 4 weeks max. If you're still mourning 6 months in and you're eating a tub of ice cream in front of a TV because you're sad she left you, dude, maybe it was a wake-up call, if that's what the type of guy you are. You've got to wake up. You've got to push through and take charge of your life. So have that mindset shift. She's not coming back, but if she does, great. You've upgraded yourself. Number 2, if you are not already in the gym, if you are not already strength training, if you're not already taking care of yourself to a minimum basic fitness level, that should indicate a red flag, maybe why she left you, right? I don't want to hear any sad stories. Women, they're crazy. Let's just break it down to that. They are so difficult to understand, and maybe one day we will. Maybe we'll have the technology to understand them, but right now we don't. They are thinking on a different plane of life. So for you to try to understand, okay, why, maybe this, that, forget the reasons. It happened. Focus on yourself. Stay in the gym, because that is just going to, number 1, keep you happy, because the fucking chemical releases that are going to be released while you're working out is just going to put you on planet Mars and make you feel so ecstatic that the last thing you're going to be moping around about is, oh, is she going to come back to me? No. You're focused on yourself, for fuck's sakes. You're in the gym, you're building your body, you're building your physique. Right? What I like to tell people is you have to focus on the 4 pillars of purpose. Because when you're not focused on the pillars of purpose, you're focused and your thoughts are idling in depression. Remember, an idle mind is the devil's playground. A mind in action is a joyful mind. I don't know where that saying came from. I might have just made it up, but I know the idle mind one was definitely said from some book I read. Like I said, action. So, what are you doing action in? The 4 pillars. Whether you're a man that came from a family, whatever, you just got divorced. Whether you're in a 1-year relationship and your first girl just broke up with you. Or maybe you're in a 10-year relationship and your girl left you. Whatever it may be. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, family is the first pillar. Or no, faith is, but family is also important. Family, faith, fitness, and finance. Those are the 4 pillars of purpose. Because when you're focused on these 4 things, then you just can't live in depression. You can't be sad and moping around because you've got other 4 things. If your woman left you, you've got kids to take care of. You've got kids to raise. You've got to spend time with them. Or maybe your friends, You might have been an asshole and left all your friends because you've simped for this woman, and now all of a sudden you're going to text all your friends back. It doesn't work that way. Do not go back to your friends just because you left them, because then you're going to seem like the fool, right? You left all your friends to go simp for this woman, and now all of a sudden the woman left you and you're going to be texting all your friends, hey guys, do you want to hang out? I feel sad. No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to make it your responsibility, because you didn't nurture those friend groups, to go out there and find new friends, right? Create meaningful relationships with new people, because you going back is just going to look bad on yourself, and most likely, oftentimes than not, those friends that you left for that girl are not going to want to associate with you. Because the moment that you get another girl, you're just going to do the same thing, right? So if you're that type of guy, that's what you really got to fix inside of yourself, because you have to always be in a tribe of men, or at least one guy. One guy who is your ride or die needs to be always around you, whether you're with a woman or not. Because then when you aren't without, or when you're not with a woman, you still have that manly connection that thrives and brings fire to your soul. Testosterone needs other testosterone to breed competition, to breed ambition, to breed purpose. If you're just balancing testosterone and with like estrogen, it's just going to be, your testosterone, your manliness is just going to be sunken down. Right? That's why guys, when they get into relationships, they lose all their testosterone. They get fat, they get unhappy, they lose all their ambition, because they're not surrounded by other men with high testosterone. Always keep a tribe of guys. That's your family. And if you don't, besides obviously your immediate family, stay close to your parents, stay close to your siblings, stay close to your kids if you're a father. But in this case, also your extended family, meaning cousins, but friends, manhood, tribe type friends. Faith. Maybe this was God's timing, right? You put your woman in front of God, and he's like, nah, son, that's not how it's going to be, right? I got to be number one, and he's humbling you to show you that God's, I don't want to use the word jealous, but dude, he wants you to himself. He created you for you to learn how to love him over all things. So if you're loving materialism, money, cars, sex, women, all over him, of course he's going to take these things away from you, because A, they're not going to bring you the purpose that you're constantly chasing for. More cars, more money, more women, more house, bigger house, more money, whatever it may be. He's going to humble you and take everything away from you, because he's going to realize, dude, this guy doesn't know where his heart needs to be at. And that's why you see so many people miserable, even though they have so much, because they don't have their stability and foundation in God. Right? So maybe this is a time for you to get out of depression and find and re-heal your heart with joy through God. And then of course finances. You know, get better at the job that you're working on. Put in more effort, put in more excitement, or spark your creativity, spark your curiosity. Start that job that you've been, or that, not that job, what am I saying? Start that business that you've been avoiding because you don't have any time because you're spending so much time with your woman. You're single now. Put some focus into the business that you've been, lacking. Put some focus onto some other creative endeavors that you've been putting aside, but you know deep down that you need to start. All these things are going to pull you out of depression. They're going to make you not feel sad. They're not going to make you feel and mope around. Because like I said, keep your mind busy, keep it focused. And then of course, fitness, like it's just a staple, it's a foundation. If you got into a relationship, if you got into, a state in comfortability where you stop putting effort into yourself, stop grooming yourself, just overgrown and ugly and fat and lazy, like fix up, dude. Like work yourself. Get groomed, get a haircut, maybe go see the dentist if you haven't seen the dentist in a while. Like clean up your teeth, clean up your oral game. Like freshen yourself up so that when you see your reflection in the mirror, you feel confident, and the next time either a hotter woman or another woman is going to, notice you, you're going to have that confidence to talk to her, and you're not going to be feeling insecure and hidden inside your shell. But the most important thing, and this is going to change your life, is those are all the foundations and pillars of purpose. Focus on all those things during this tough time, because it is a tough time, right? Like I've been through a couple heartbreaks, I've been broken up with. It sucks, but you get over it with time, and like the saying goes, time heals all wounds. But the main thing that you need to understand is you've put your identity into this woman, and that's why you're depressed. You need to put your identity in, not, because I don't really like to use the idea of putting your identity in external factors. You shouldn't have your identity in anything. Not in your work, not in your woman, not in your, I'm a father, I'm a carpenter, I'm an electrician, I'm married to this guy. That's not who you are. Who you are is in here, and you need to reconnect with that inner being, right? Because your thoughts during this whole time, they're going to be negative, they're going to be sad, they're going to be, shallow. And then when you start paying attention to your thoughts, remember, you are not your thoughts. But when you start paying attention to all these thoughts and get stuck in this cycle of repetition and thinking, oh, what could I have done to save her? Oh, I wish she just would have loved me. Oh, maybe she'll come back. Oh, who's she with now? Oh, what the other guy is. Then you're going to be constantly hyper-focusing on these thoughts. But the moment that you take yourself out of these thoughts, observe these thoughts, understand it's just thoughts. It's not who you are. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Then you could finally step outside and just understand and see from within that you are the observer, and then this is just all happening to you. You're experiencing life. Why would you want to die without experiencing a heartbreak? Why would you want to die without experiencing, becoming as wealthy as possible? Why would you want to die without experiencing having a six-pack? Right? All these insecurities and all these things that we feel throughout our lifetime are here because we've been put on earth to experience. We've been put on earth to experience these emotions, to experience all these different clips and moments and flashes of life. But if you're so busy fixated on the thoughts and can't live in the actual moment, then I would be depressed too. I would be moping around and sucking my thumb watching anime, even though I do love anime, and eating a bowl of ice cream wondering, oh, when's she gonna come back to me? And then that's when you're gonna start spiraling into all these vices. That's when people start becoming alcoholics, gamblers, and all these crazy things just to numb their mind, numb their thoughts, numb the feeling of what happened to them and play the victim. You have two choices now. You've gotten broken up with. You can remain in this current state that you're in, or you can use this as a excuse, even though you shouldn't need an excuse, to better yourself. Use this as fuel. Use this as fuel to kind of finally wake you the fuck up and realize, okay, I kind of let myself go. I really let myself go. Now it's time to step this thing up called life. Step my character up. Build a reality that doesn't implant me in people, right? Because once you put your identity in people, in places, all these things in life are temporary. All these things in life are temporary. Nothing is permanent. You're not permanent. The moment you accept that you're going to die one day is the happiest you'll ever be, because you're going to live every single day to the fullest. Remember that. Take yourself away from the identities. Understand that life happens. You'll get over it. It's not the end of the world. You know, God has a plan for you. And you might not see it now, but in 10, maybe even in 5, or even in 30 years, you're going to look back and it's just going to be like, oh, remember that moment? Why did I spend 2 years moping around? I wish I just woke up instantly, you know, give it some time, fucking grieve because it's important, but then move on. The most successful people, the most happiest people are the people that can move on the quickest. And it doesn't mean, moving on doesn't mean forgetting. You don't have to forget these people. You don't have to forget her. Don't. She was an important part of your life. She brought you to this state that you're in right now. You know, she gave you all these happy memories. But if you try to forget, you're just going to bury your feelings in your heart. You're going to bury yourself, and that's when you're going to become a piece of shit. That's when you're going to become a resentful asshole, and you're just going to be so like toxic and negative and spread such bad vibes to everybody you come in contact with. And those are just people that you want to avoid. You can see it in their eyes, and the eyes are the gates to their soul. You can see it through their eyes, deep down in their soul, that they've just been hurt, and instead of accepting, they try to forget and they try to bury it down in their soul. Do not forget. Feel it. Feel what you're going through. Be grateful. Be grateful that you get to experience this. Be grateful that you get to experience heartbreak. Be grateful for the moments that you did get to experience. But don't let them be the defining factor of you. I love you guys. If you're going through this, send me a DM. It's shitty, but you can make it through. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of life. You know, there's bigger things to focus on and more purposeful things to work towards. I love you all. Subscribe if you're new. I'm gonna leave you like I always do. Create more than you consume. Serve others. Love everybody. Everybody. No matter if they've hurt you or not. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.